Hello, everyone. This is my discussion post for the first DQ of week two. And I will say, very interesting information this week. Um, I'll mention a few differences between Piaget and Vygotsky, if I said their names correctly. First and foremost, Piaget focused more specifically on the child and the child's personal development in his theory. And to substantiate that point, um, reading from the textbook on, excuse me, on page 36, it says that Piaget suggested that the exploration of the physical environment should be largely a child-initiated and child-directed effort. And in his theory, when he looked at the stages of development in children, he was looking specifically at individual children. Now, Vygotsky looked beyond just school children in his theory. And although Vygotsky's theory was also constructivist, which means it built upon itself and relied upon external sources to gain knowledge and to increase in productiveness. Vygotsky said instead of Piaget that the stages of development could be looked could be observed more from a broader point of view, whereas Piaget focused on certain age groups and the characteristics of each age group in their basically their psychological development and understanding things. Page 40 in our textbook says that Vygotsky focused more on the processes through which children develop in his theory than on the characteristics that children of particular ages are likely to exhibit, which is what Piaget did. And also from an online article from Simply Psychology on Jean Piaget, another difference between him and Vygotsky is that uh, he proposes discrete stages of development marked by qualitative differences rather than a gradual increase in number and complexity of behaviors, concepts, ideas, etc. And that was a quote from that article. So, uh, one last central difference between the two can also be found in page 40 in our textbook, where it mentions that Vygotsky's theory uh, has people expect more diversity amongst kids in the way their brain develops, and it's not as definitive and specific, or as the article just read, discrete, as Piaget's theory. Plus, Vygotsky felt that although children do develop on their own, he felt that socially other people collaboratively helped kids and children learn things, and that was the best way to learn and achieve things. Um, in Piaget's theory, he looked more at the specific child, as I've already said, and how they responded to their environment themselves. So that was a long explanation there, but a couple more points that I found useful from the reading this week. The first one comes from page 36 in our textbook, where from Jean Piaget's theory, uh, he basically found that there was conflict. If there was a certain kind of conflict that arose that needed to be fixed in a student's mind, that conflict was often an impetus or a driving force for that student to actually learn something because they needed to resolve an issue. And I find that especially true for anybody of any age. And that actually is a very helpful way to learn because it is an incentive and a motivation. Another point comes from Vygotsky's theory, in which he talks about um, self-talk and internalization. That's found on pages 38 and 39 in the textbook, where kids often start off by talking to themselves about things or vocalizing things, and then eventually internalize it and can read to themselves, think to themselves. And I just find that interesting how that process develops. And a third point um, on Vygotsky's theory is the point of scaffolding. And I think scaffolding, or setting up different measures to help students reach a particular goal, not crutches, but actual constructive things like the use of a calculator, for instance, or a spreadsheet program on the computer, or certain types of tools, um, is very helpful in helping them understand something, but also reaching their goal without being frustrated. And I think scaffolding is really important in a variety of classroom contexts. So that's what I found interesting and what I learned from this week. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.